A few weeks ago, my life took a sharp turn I never saw coming. My girlfriend of 4 years, the woman I believed was my future, sat me down and admitted to something that shattered my world. Now, I feel like I'm drowning in betrayal, unsure of what to believe, and I can't bring myself to burden anyone in my personal life with this mess. So, I'm reaching out here for an outside perspective. To give you some context, I'm 29 and she's 28. We've been together for 4 years, and for the most part, our relationship has been nothing short of incredible. She was my anchor during the darkest time of my life. 2 years ago, I hit rock bottom. I lost my job, spiraled into depression, and completely shut down. She was my lifeline, supporting me emotionally, financially, and even encouraging me to seek therapy. Without her, I don't know where I'd be today. My family adores her. My friends think she's amazing, and until recently, I thought she was my forever. I'd even been secretly planning to propose next year. But then she confessed. She told me she cheated on me a year ago. She said she couldn't carry the guilt anymore and wanted to come clean before we took the next step in our relationship. According to her, it happened during a summer when I was away visiting family for a month. She said a guy she knew kissed her. They hung out for a week afterward, but she swore it was purely platonic after that one kiss. She broke down, crying uncontrollably, even vomiting from the stress. She told me she blocked him on everything and had worked on herself since then to become a better partner. She begged me for forgiveness, showing me proof that she hadn't been in contact with him since. I was devastated, but I couldn't ignore everything we'd been through together. After a lot of soul-searching, I decided to give her another chance. I wanted to believe her when she said the guy initiated the kiss and that she cut him off immediately after. But something didn't sit right. It ate at me, so I decided to reach out to him. I found him on Facebook and sent him a message. To my surprise, he replied quickly. He apologized for what happened, but what he told me next crushed me all over again. He said it wasn't just one kiss. According to him, they made out several times, and she even performed oral on him. He claimed they never had sex, but by then, I felt sick to my stomach. Armed with this revelation, I confronted her again, ready to end things for good. She denied everything he said, insisting he was lying to sabotage our relationship because he wanted to be with her. She cried, begged, and swore she was telling the truth, but I didn't know what to believe anymore. The trust was gone. I turned to this space because I couldn't bring myself to involve anyone I know in this turmoil. Your comments, whether supportive, critical, or harsh, gave me clarity. Many of you pointed out that I had placed her on a pedestal because of how she supported me during my lowest point. You were right. I let my gratitude blind me to the reality of the situation. After days of reflection, I made my decision. I couldn't stay. The betrayal, the trickle of half-truths, the possibility of more lies. It was too much. Without trust, there was no foundation for our relationship. Walking away from someone who once meant everything to me was the hardest decision I've ever made, but it was necessary. For my own self-respect and peace of mind, I chose to let go. To anyone else struggling with betrayal or heartbreak, remember this. You can honor the good someone has done for you while still respecting yourself enough to walk away when they've broken your trust. I told her I wanted to meet and talk in person, and when we sat down, I laid it all out for her. I told her that after everything I had learned, I had made the decision to end things. She immediately broke down in tears, begging me to stay. Her sobs were so heavy, and she kept telling me that I was abandoning her during her lowest point, just like she had been there for me during mine. She tried to justify what happened again, saying it was only because I wasn't there when she needed someone. It was the same story she had told me before, a narrative that no longer held any weight. I told her firmly that this wasn't about me not being there for her. I explained that while I would always be grateful for everything she did for me during my darkest times, it didn't give her the right to cross my boundaries or, worse, lie to me. I told her I had no idea how much of what she said was even true anymore, and that the trickle truthing had completely shattered any hope I had left of trusting her again. She cried even harder and said she only lied because she was scared of how I would react. She said that now her worst fears had come true. I was walking away because of the truth she told me. I told her bluntly, "You don't get to decide how I react to your betrayal." I made it clear that if she had been honest with me from the beginning, maybe we could have worked through this. But now, I would never know if she was telling me the whole truth. That's when she said she wanted to come completely clean, to tell me everything so that we could try to start over. She asked me, with pleading eyes, if I would consider giving her another chance if she confessed everything right then and there. I hesitated. I didn't know what to say, but I finally told her to go ahead. I wanted to hear the truth. What she said next floored me. She admitted that, in addition to the guy I already knew about, she had hooked up with 2 other men during the same summer. She claimed it didn't mean anything, and that she was just confused and lonely, not knowing how to handle the distance between us. She said she hadn't told me earlier because she wanted to avoid hurting me. But now, she was coming clean because she genuinely loved me and wanted to start over. She said she wanted to earn my trust back. At that point, I didn't even know how to react. I was numb, sitting there in disbelief. Part of me wanted to laugh because it seemed so ridiculous, but I felt like crying too. Eventually, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I asked her, "Are you kidding me right now? You're telling me all of this and still think we can start over?" She kept crying, begging me to give her a chance. She promised she would do whatever it took to prove herself. But at that moment, I was done. I knew there was no coming back from this. I stood up and walked out. When I got home, I was still in shock, trying to process everything she had told me. I couldn't face her again. So I sent her a text message saying that it was over, and I didn't want to hear from her or see her again. I told her I wish her the best, but I was done. Then I blocked her on everything, her number, social media, everything. Afterward, I felt this strange mix of emotions, relief, anger, sadness, and disbelief. It didn't feel real, and I still couldn't believe I had spent 4 years with someone who could betray me like this. I wasn't sure what the future held, but I knew I deserved better than this. So, that was the end. I'm grateful to everyone who took the time to read and comment on my situation. Your perspectives helped me see things more clearly. Some relevant thoughts I received from others really hit home. Cheating with 3 different guys while you were away doesn't sound like a moment of weakness or a mistake. She didn't just make one bad choice. She made a series of choices. Did she ever talk about boundaries or what she wanted from the relationship? To answer, no. I had no idea she was feeling this way. She never expressed any concerns or dissatisfaction. She always seemed committed, constantly talking about our future together, and we were planning a life together. I have no idea how she reconciled those words with her actions. Another comment that really stood out was, what exactly did she think would happen when she came clean? Did she think you'd just shrug it off and pretend nothing happened? To be honest, I don't know what she was thinking. She claimed she wanted to start fresh, thinking coming clean would somehow rebuild trust. But how could trust ever be rebuilt after something like this? Her actions were deliberate, not accidental.